Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah, the voice that guides you into each episode of You're Probably Right. If this is your first time here, I'm glad you found us. This show has been running for years, built from real experiences, real questions, and the moments in life that shape who we become. Whether you're going through something, healing from something, or trying to understand the choices that brought you here, you're in the right place. Nothing rushed, nothing random, just honest conversations that meet you where you are. In a moment, you'll hear from MCM. He's the mind behind this space, someone who thinks deeply about people, relationships, faith, and the quiet struggles we don't always talk about. Every episode comes from a place of reflection and years of lived experience, not trends or quick takes. So take a breath, settle in, and stay with us for a while. You might hear something that helps, something that challenges you, or something that reminds you that you're not alone. This is You're Probably Right. Let's begin.
Hey y'all, what's up? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right. This is episode 391, which is actually coming out before 390. Can't tell you. Anyhow, this should be a really good one. Presence is what people are actually looking for. Although people, there is a good presence in front of you. That's what most people kind of go on at the beginning. And then they dig deeper for the other stuff, right? Anyhow, just remember this episode, like all my other episodes, are for entertainment purposes only. I think you should really you're going to like this one. I'm going to get into it. It's not that long, unless, of course, I add a little lot. So I can't really say because I do have a script, but you know me, sometimes I jump off script, which I think is good, right? Otherwise, you'd just be reading this for yourself or something somewhere. Well, you couldn't really read this per se because I created this, but you know what I mean? All right. Let me start with one question or a question. And I want both men and women to really sit with this. And hopefully I get this over to you so you can receive it and really turn it over in your mind and your heart, Your mind's heart, your heart's mind. Especially those who say they're looking for a long-term partner, marriage, someone to build a life with, right? Or someone to be joined to your life, not to take over your life, right? And not to be their life. How many things do you believe you need to find in one person before you even give them a real chance? And that's why I really, when I think about dating for real, like the people who dating, like in my past, it's always been almost every single time that I've been with anybody, dated anybody, it's been organic. It's someone within reach of my daily life kind of thing. It's not just random people on the internet. Not to say anything's wrong with that. Like, I mean, I don't know where you live and I don't know what your personal interactions are in your city or your time. But I just think talking to so many different people, trying to pretty much do the same thing in different ways with each of those people at the same time and regularly just meeting random strangers, no matter what they say they're, on their profile or what they say in a SMS, whatever, SMS or whatever, any type of chat or any type of personal private messages or whatever it is like that can always be different. Even people you meet in person, obviously, that they can change after a while, but it gives you a better knowledge of knowing a person when the person is physically right in front of you, right? Anyway, people are looking for things, right? They're looking for, let's count them out. Good looking, right? And there's people, I don't mind if they're good. You care. You make reference of it all the time, I'm sure. At someone, that's a good looking person. Like, you may not make that your number one thing, but this is just a list. So understand that I'm sure if the person looks presentable, if they're eye-catching, if they get your, num rolling or num yoling or whatever Dan Fielding said in Night Court, whatever gets you going or whatever, excites you without any effort, Of course you want that, right? So here's the list, right? They want them the right height, the right weight, right culture in many cases, the right background in many cultures, the right skin color in many colors. I mean, in many in many aspects. Like you'll have black. Maybe a person likes black guys, but they only like guys the skin color of Prince. You know what I mean? Or the skin color of what's his name? Denzel. No, not Denzel. Denzel. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. I was more thinking of the dude in Spawn or whatever the heck. What's his name again? Wesley Snipes. I was like going from light to dark. But yeah, it just maybe you just like a certain color of black guy. You know what I mean? Or maybe you like only redheads or pale skinned or tan. You know what I mean? The right level of education. They can't just have gone to college. They need to have gone to a Division 1 college and played sports and also somehow lettered in such and such and all this other stuff. Lettered, I'm thinking of high school. The right level of athleticism, right? The right faith. Maybe a good singer. Like if you throw all these things in and then there's all these little things you want in the person, right? The right politics, right? You're left, they're right. Oh, that's a problem. The right lifestyle, right? The right job, the right income, the right emotional intelligence, the right confidence, the right ambition, the right humor, the right social life, the right family dynamic, the right future goals. These are a lot of things and there's more. You know what I mean? Now, be honest with yourself. How many of you actually have found all of this in one person? And remember, when we look back and we think of a person that's not in our life now, generally we romanticize those people and we just remember their good stuff, especially if we fawn over them still and they're gone, right? Just like if we hate them, we only think of all their negatives, but we don't think of the good parts generally. Anyhow, many of you have spent years dating, swiping, matching, messaging, meeting, only to realize that the more people you meet, the harder it becomes to believe anyone can actually meet you where you are. Because here's what I'm thinking what's happening anyway. People are trying to assemble a human being out of a checkbox. It's almost like you're trying to build this fictionary person and they have to have these things, right? The height of, I don't know, Jordan, the looks of Denzel, the money of Musk, and like maybe not those things, you know what I mean? But like you're literally building a person out of checkboxes while completely missing one thing that makes a relationship more and better and actually work in real life, and that's presence, right? Hold on a second. Here we go. I believe this is why modern dating struggles so much. Not because people are broken. A lot of people say they are broken because standards are wrong, but because the structure of dating itself does not allow presence to actually develop because you're meeting too many people. You know what I mean? Think about it. Think how dating works, right? You meet someone on an app, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, or Christian Mingle, J8, whatever, I don't know. Whatever the platform is. I don't go at any of these. I'm not even sure what J8 is. Oh, I know what it is. That's wild. Anyways, whatever the app is, right? You see a picture, right? You read a short description. You see a list of hobbies, maybe a travel photo, hanging off a mountain or something, maybe a gym photo, maybe a family photo, maybe them in action fixing a computer, maybe a car, maybe a quote that means or is meant to sound really deep. Maybe they even put their name under it, or they just put Hemingway or something, who knows. And then you decide in seconds whether this person is worth your time, just from that. Then you talk, then you meet, then you go on a date, maybe 2, maybe 3. Maybe you can't get them out of your life and you're done with them. And all the while, You know, there are other conversations happening, other matches waiting, other dates lined up. And because of that, nobody is fully there because you're not present with them. They are not present with you. Everyone is half everywhere all at the same time. Now multiply that by 2 or 3 dates a month, sometimes with 2 or 3 different people, sometimes more, over months, over years. What do you think that does to you as a person? It does not make them more open. It does not make them more patient. It doesn't make you more hopeful. It makes you guarded. It makes you skeptical. It makes you tired. And you know what happens when you're tired? Somebody would say you sleep. No, you make dumb decisions because you need to sleep. You need to rest. Dating mileage is real. And the more interactions, you can figure out whatever those interactions would be, someone has where they are being evaluated, assessed, compared, discarded, used, the harder it becomes for them to actually offer presence when someone genuine actually shows up. Because presence requires energy. Because presence requires attention. Presence requires emotional availability. And you cannot give that to 5 people at once. Impossible. This is why I do not believe in dating, as it is commonly practiced anyway. I think it leads to deep compatibility. It leads to surface level. Instead of leading to that, I think it leads to surface level filtering and all kinds of stuff. You start valuing what is visible more and easy to measure. You stop valuing those little idiosyncrasies, right? The things that actually determine whether 2 people can actually build a life together. Presence is not loud. Presence isn't flashy. Presence, it doesn't necessarily photograph well. Presence shows up in how someone listens, in whether they remember what you said weeks ago. In whether they noticed your mood shift. In whether they remember what shoes you were wearing. Or if you had a mustache. No, just joking. In whether they slow down when you overwhelm them. When you are overwhelmed. In whether they're curious about your inner world, not just your resume. Most people do not feel truly seen. They feel observed. They feel judged. They feel like they're being evaluated. Are they a high value? Are they a 7? Are they a dime? Are they the man, the person, the one, all that? Or your person? Evaluated but not seen. And when someone finally experiences presence, real presence, it's disarming. It's calming. It feels different. This is where attraction actually comes from. Not from looks, not from height, not from curated or edited photos, filters. Attraction grows when someone feels safe enough to be themselves without performing. Or real enough to say, you don't have to perform for me. Presence says, I am here with you. I see you. I'm showing you me. I want to know the real you, not the one you're putting out there. not scanning for a next option. Presence says you are not competing right now. Presence says you matter in this moment, in every moment. That is rare. I don't think you can date and find that. I mean, you can, but I think many people will say when they weren't looking, when they'd pretty much given up all hope, when they just went about their daily life, that's when they met someone. And because it's rare, people often misinterpret it. They think it's chemistry, or it's all about chemistry. They think it's all magic. They think it's fate. But it's not mysterious, it's psychological. Now, of course, I could say that I believe that God has everything planned out. It's here, it's happening. We have levels of things that we can do. But what's going to happen is going to happen. But when you're not trapped in your own head, wondering how you are coming across, if you are free to notice the other person, you hear what they say, you hear what they avoid, you hear what they repeat, you hear what matters to them. You begin to understand that they are missing, or at least what they're missing from what they're saying if you're listening. Not in a predatory way, in an actual human way. Some people are missing calm. Some are missing consistency. Some are missing being taken seriously. Some are missing emotional safety. Some are missing playfulness. Some are missing being chosen. Some are being chosen just for certain aspects, but not really chosen, just used. And when someone experiences the understanding, even if brief, it leaves a mark. This is why meaningful gestures matter more than expressive ones. A place that reflects who someone is matters more than an expensive place. A gift that shows you are paying attention, that you are listening, matters more than a costly gift. Time that is undistracted matters more than time that is large. Presence cannot be faked for long. It cannot be multiplied endlessly. That is why the more people you try to date at once, the less presence you actually offer. And over time, that erodes trust, even before trust has a chance to form. People become cynical, not because they want to be, but because repeating shallow connections teaches them to expect disappointment and shallow connections. So when someone shows up with presence, it feels almost shocking. And that is the irony. And you usually boot that person out. And usually come looking for them after a while, and they're usually taken. People are searching for 20 traits when the one thing that makes all the other traits workable is presence. Somebody could be beautiful. If they have horrible presence or feel like they're evil, no man is going to want to be with her, no matter if she is a visual 10 or not. Ask any guy, they would say, I'd rather have a 3. If that 3 has presence. And who knows what these numbers really mean, guys. I'm sure all our 1 to 10s are different. If you're looking for a long-term partner, a marriage, a life built with another human being, then the question isn't how many boxes does someone check. The question is whether the two of you can actually be present with each other over time. Presence is what allows conflict to be navigated. Presence is what allows misunderstandings to be repaired. Presence is what allows intimacy to deepen instead of erode. Looks fade. Just ask Vivica Fox or anybody else that people may not necessarily consider looking as good as their best. I guess, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Circumstances change. Bodies change. Careers shift. Presence is what remains when everything else moves or leaves. If you are constantly dating multiple people, constantly comparing, constantly keeping one foot out the door, you may feel busy, but you are not building anything. You are training yourself to stay shallow. And if you have been on the receiving end of that, it makes you feel replaceable, disposable, and unseen. And that's what's probably going to happen, right? You'll be replaced, disposable, and unseen. That is not because you're unworthy, though. It's because the structure never allows you to be known for real for a long period of time, because you're giving your time to other people. Maybe their presence, maybe their profiles, maybe their jobs, maybe their looks. These things are flashing in your face regularly, and while you're trying to deal with somebody else, or you're actually dating multiple people, talking to them on the phone at the same time. Ugh. But that's just me, guys, I guess. Sorry. So if dating has felt exhausting, discouraging, hollow, it might not be because you are doing it wrong. It might be because the way it is done does not allow the one thing relationships actually need. Yeah, sorry. If you do date all the time, I'm just saying personally, I couldn't be digging into my life or trying to wonder about one person's life. Yes, the person who's born on July 17th. You know what I mean? Like, I got to be thinking about somebody else who's born on February 6th. And you know what I mean? Like, maybe one after another if that's what you're doing. But if it is one after another, then you really got to still look at it. There's many personalities and many people that can actually get along if you're really, really honest about it. Presence is not exciting in the beginning. It's not flashy. It doesn't create instant fireworks within you, but it creates something far more valuable: stability, trust, and depth. And if you ever find yourself feeling drawn to someone who simply is made you feel calm, understood, and seen, do not dismiss that. That is not boredom. That is your nervous system recognizing where your safety is. Anyhow, this is You're Probably Right. This is MCM. And if you have been looking for the wrong things while ignoring the one thing that matters, well, you probably are. Anyhow, guys, till next time, take care. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 dogs. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while, understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, well, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.